Hey guys, it's Jen from ScanNCut Canvas and Scale Help on Facebook. We're going to work on these little shaker cards that I have here. I have the little shaker box attachments, and these are actually going to be for sale up in the store. And all of you that are on my group page know where to find that. Look in the pinned post on the page, on the group page on Facebook for the link to the store. Okay, so what we want to do, instead of buying all those expensive dies that coordinate with these, we can use our ScanNCut to cut them ourselves. So that's what I want to do. Now, if I can hold this down here without it moving, that's what I seem to have a problem with today. Everything's moving on me. Okay. It's got that sticky tape on it, and I don't want to take that tape off because I need that tape for when I stick it on my card. No, I'll just finish that. Okay, so here's the jar one. I'll put it back up there and make sure it's okay. Yep, that works. And I'll actually probably shrink this too. Okay. So now let's work on the circle. And two, actually, I could just measure this circle. So we'll do one where I actually trace around it. And you don't want to put too much pressure downward because that can actually distort the plastic and make it kind of trace all funky. Okay. But let's measure this circle. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. It's a 3-inch circle. Alright, so let's put this on the scan mat. This one's starting to get all dirty and grody looking. It's got enough tack on it. I should actually clean this before I use it, but you're seeing me not. And all of you that know, that have actually met me in person, know that I do not keep my mats covered. I keep them open so that when I go to use them, it reminds me to clean them. And you clean them with an alcohol-free baby wipe. Okay? And then I re-tack mine with a Zig. And you can also use a Leans tack it over and over, but okay, so that's good and on there. Let's head to the machine. Okay, so here we are at the machine. We're going to hit scan. Now, I will tell you, when you do the scan to USB, it saves as a JPEG, which would be fine. However, we do not have the ability to preview it on the screen. So I'm going to choose the scan to cut data. Alright, it's in the grayscale. That's what this tells you. If I hit this, this allows me to change it. Well, I'm going to leave it at the grayscale. And I choose this scan because I want the ability to see what it looks like, okay? And this will actually also export it as an FCM. Again, the scan to USB saves it as a JPEG, which means when you take it to your system and you open it in either Canvas or Scale, it will be a trace, because you trace in any image or raster file, which is a JPEG or a PNG file, any image file. Ooh, let's see this. So I chose the top one. Ah, perfect. So let's bring it in a little closer because I don't know if there's any whatnots floating around out there. Preview. Alright, so let's save that. And I'm going to save it out to my stick. 20. Okay. Alright. Because I don't want to cut that. I just need the file. Okay? Alright, so here we are over in Shortcuts a Lot. Let me stick in my stick. Okay. So now let's go to SVG import, because that's what I want. There's all my Facebook files. Jen Stick. There's an image file because I did save it as an image. But right down here. There we go. So there's that, and I do see a little hanger off of it. Down here. Let's actually blow this up. So we can take a closer look at it. And get that out of the way. You can see down here at the bottom. See that little hanger right there? Let me try to pull you in a little bit more on it. Oh, sorry about that. But you can see it right down there. So what I would do, let me back you out now, is I just take my eraser, go in, and clip that little guy off. Okay? And you may notice that around the edges, because again this is hand drawn, that it might be a little shaky. So what you do to combat that is you come up here to Path and do your Simplify. So I took it from 78 nodes down to 47. Okay, and it's starting to smooth it out. Do it again, 47 to 32, and again 32 to 24. That's getting so much smoother. And 24 to 23. Okay, I'll stop since that. Now look how much smoother that has gotten. I noticed one little thing over here. It's kind of still has a little bit of a sharper edge, but nothing that would be noticeable when you cut it out of paper. So that one is really good. This one looks absolutely fine. I don't need to do anything with it, but I could go up here to Path, Simplify, 95 to 44. Okay, and as you actually simplify it, you're decreasing the amount of blade work that your blade and machine do, because every time it hits that node, what it does is it's kind of sending a little message to the machine of turn here, do this, do that. So it's kind of like a little information post for the machine. So the fewer you have, the better. Okay, so 21 to 16. Alright, and we'll stop. Now that looks a lot better. Okay, so we went from, what was that, like 95 down to 16. You could still keep going. It just depends on, okay, 16 to 14, that's a perfect place to stop because there's not much change in it. And that looks really good. Okay, so I'm going to turn the light on here, so it's probably going to blind the camera a bit. Alright, so what this video shows you is how to take an item that you might have, okay, whatever it might be. If you need a cut file and you don't want to buy dies, or they don't make dies for it, this is how you do it. You lay it on a piece of paper, you trace it, you scan it in. You can use the JPEG, you can use the scan to your USB, but you don't know what that scan looks like, okay? But you can use the scan to cut data. Choose that top option if you want the whole thing like I do, because I want it to cut out the entire thing. Use whatever one you need. Save it to your stick. That will then be an FCM. So then you come into your program, and we will go to Canvas. You use the SVG button because that imports the SVG or the vector file. Okay, traces import the raster or image files. All right. And then that's how you get your cut file. And then when they're in here, you can increase or decrease the sizes proportionally, or I showed you in that video how to do them by scaling them or percentages, all that good stuff. Okay, so now let's head over to Canvas. Choose File. Let's go all the way down. Nope, wrong one, Jen Stick. And we're going to come in here. Keeps shutting down. Canvas is acting bad today. here's another problem with Canvas, is sometimes it likes to shut down like this, which is not effective when you're trying to get things done. Having that online connection can really be stressful. Okay, my stick, please be kind. Well, you're not going to get to see the Canvas portion of it because it does not want to work today. But in Canvas, you'll do the same thing. Click the SVG, bring it in. In Canvas, though, you do not have an eraser and you do not have Path Simplify. What you do in there is you will have to node edit to get rid of that little hanger that was down here. You'll have to node edit that, okay? As well as any little errors that you might have within your lines. That's how you have to deal with that. Or you can lay a shape on it if there's a whole bunch of them. If you want to make like this line really, really straight, lay a straight shape on top of it, highlight them both, and click subtract, and that will subtract that from there, okay? But if you guys have any further questions on how to do this, okay, this is a technique video, not how to make this and how to make that. It is how to get a cut file out of something that you have, all right, which is how all my videos are made. If you have questions, please join my group. I do not get to YouTube to answer any questions. So if you're one of my members, just pop over to the Scan and Cut Canvas and Scal Help Facebook page and ask me there. Alright guys, thanks a lot.